Welcome back to the Inn at the End, friends. Our troopers are already at their table, getting underway. Why don't you go join them? I'll bring you a drink.
The rest of the town is slowly going back to normal, finding a routine in the day. Things are still being fixed. And actually, to note, I would say probably with the walls, some of the walls come down. You know, where they're not needed to open up access to the forest. The warehouses, the rescue warehouses being taken over by the kingdom's investigators. A lot of the stuff that's like perishable gets sent out to the town itself. And the weapons, the more magical things, are under lock and key. The lighthouse remains fairly barren with the librarians and the folks that were in charge. But slowly people come back for service to, you know, get together and talk about Melora in the ways they used to.
What about the tower in the bay?
The tower in the bay has stayed. And speaking of the fishery folk, the people that do the fishing in the seas, have taken this time to clean up the bay of all that debris, pulled that stuff all out of the bay, so they can begin fishing again, begin providing food again to Quilton. The old farmers are trying to get the orchards back in repair, trying to get the fields back up. And
Filbert trees ready.
Oh yeah. They were overgrown. You see them out, getting all pruned up and ready for the season. The Kuningrick ship that took some of the Drescues away, like they have left. They left within that first week with the higher ups of the Drescue family. They spoke with some officials from the Javiel Kingdom, which is the kingdom that Quilton Bay is a part of, and things start to come back to kind of a normal sense. And so from here, I want to ask what is happening in the next months, longer projects. Where do you kind of settle in your routine as this reconstruction of the bay and this, leaning towards normal life starts to begin?
It doesn't say normal for Ace, for sure.
When do you shove off?
He has his plan, and I would say within a few weeks.
I would say with the Nytheris plan, you've got the plan together.
Yeah.
Someday, if we want to run that adventure, I would love to do that with everybody.
That'd be fun.
Instead of having it just be a part of the epilogue.
That would be so cool.
But you've got the
Ace
plan.
goes off.
Yeah, Ace is gone, kills Nytheris, brings back
Coconut Bill.
Coconut Bill.
Yeah.
Because
And
he's
we have
the
a
hero of Quilton Bay.
Yeah.
a wonderful wedding.
Let me turn it on you then.
Okay.
What during the next few months causes Ace to find a sense of community, not settle down, but to find a place in Quilton where he feels useful enough to at least not have to go on this vengeance quest right away?
I mean, a lot of the stuff that I think about with Ace is his he has a lot of flaws. He has a lot of things about him that make it difficult for him to do the right thing. Mm-hmm. And the thing that always kind of grounds him and brings him back is his friends and the idea of what a home is and having that place that he can call home wherever he is. Because I don't ever see Ace as the type to fully be in Quilton Bay. Mm-hmm. Like he's gonna adventure and he needs to have that constant adrenaline rush.
Okay, yeah.
I think that he would find a lot of comfort in the inn with Ghoul and just hanging out with the kids in the market. Mm-hmm. He would maybe have a little toy shop.
Yeah.
And then begin a little import-export thing.
I mean, for sure, yeah.
It doesn't have there's no cost for the children. He finds other ways to pay for them to do that.
What if
no forced labor?
I think there's like an endowment fund for that.
Yeah. You can. There's funds and grants to be had to bring in things. What if Ace makes sure the food store is always stocked with toys, knickknacks, things that like you would have thought were fun as a child.
Yeah, stuff that I would have had at my disposal as like the rich kid.
Gotcha. Yeah,
like I want them to have the same things.
You
that
know,
I had.
the fun like little magical items
because
that are neat, little magical fidget toys.
Yeah, it's like it's not something that I should have just had. Like I had to share these things with Ben, and I had to share these things with Simon and stuff. And
But not you, Val.
well, Val, he was doing pretty well up there.
Fair.
And he wants all the children of the town to like have those same creative like outlets and like adventurous minds and stuff.
I love it.
He wants to make every child of Quilton an explorer.
Nice. I'll say, you spend some time going out, like in the next few months. You spend some time like leaving Quilton on some of these ships, going to places to gather the necessary things for the plan, for the Nytheris heist. You get the magical scrolls, you get the you get the items you need, and while you're out there, you're also getting these exotic toys to bring back, these knickknacks and things to bring back to Quilton, and just like set up trade routes to make sure those things can be brought to Quilton in the future as well.
I use the tools that my father gave me.
There you go. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's easy to do.
I just know how to do that
there.
sales.
Very nice. Very nice.
And yeah, I would definitely want to try to reconnect with my father and see about getting him back into Quilton and stuff like that too.
Yeah. Yeah. Over the next few months, the investigation dies down. Your mom is sent to a prison in the capital, along with other family members. It seems her stint is not going to be as long. She's going to be there just a few years.
I definitely begin to write her like monthly and just kind of
start building that relationship.
Let her know what I'm doing and why I'm doing it.
Yeah.
Why it matters to me.
Eventually, you get like a letter from your dad in the early months that he's done at the warehouse. And like you go up and meet with him, and you both travel to the capital, just to like give statements and do whatever you need to up there. But it feels similar to those old like business trips you used to take. And Ace starts to become this like, globe trotting individual.
Yeah, he's definitely got the what is it called where you're like giving to people like
generous?
With your wealth. What are those people that
Philanthropist?
I was gonna say the Always Sunny quote.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
a philanthropist.
No,
Sure, full
philanthropist.
on.
Let's just go with
with
philanthropist.
We're gonna stick with the full on therapist.
Yes.
Yeah. Very nice. Yeah. Fantastic. The next few months, who else has plans?
Well, I mean, how are those sending stones looking?
The sending stones, during these few months, you can acquire the amount of sending stones you need to do something
and
with.
bind them.
You want like? Do you want like?
I want a
He wants a
four-way
conference
walkie.
call sending stone.
You
I
want
want a
4 of
four-way
them
walkie.
that all can talk to each other.
Yes.
Okay, you're able to get that sorted.
Excellent.
Yeah, you get 3 messages a day for each of them,
What?
and they all talk
Okay,
to
okay,
each
okay.
other.
That's
There's
good.
2
That's
for
perfect.
the other ones.
That's perfect.
Yeah,
Wow.
take some
And
money.
it costs
take
you
some
80 platinum.
negotiating.
You're broke.
Perfect.
But yeah, you're able to do that.
Every
Okay.
so often you get just a fuck you.
Well, it's funny that you say that because,
There's a filter
before,
on
before it just is asterisks all
Yeah.
the time.
It translates it to
Yeah.
"I love you guys."
Yeah. But it's funny that you bring that up because I think Simon, his goal, and from the very beginning, his fear was that we would be apart again and he would be somehow at fault and it would be tragic in some way. And so this was kind of his gesture in making sure that we stay connected in some way. And so before Ace ships out and before y'all do whatever it is that you mean to do, Simon wants to call everyone to the beach where we first saw that ship come in and hand out these sending stones to everyone and says, let's not ever be separated again. And I feel like we should test these stones once before we part ways. And on the count of 3, let's all say something into the stone. 1, 2.
I throw mine into the ocean.
Knew that was going to happen.
Kidding.
I have an extra.
There you go. Shit.
I knew that would happen.
3. Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you.
I'll miss you guys.
I was literally going to be like, it's been an honor.
I know.
Meanwhile, Caleb's like,
But seriously, I know we've got kind of our own directions in life and our own responsibilities now that this big one is behind us. But please stay connected.
Oh, I want to use the sending stone.
Mm-hmm.
Like I kind
Ace,
of
I'm right next to you.
no, I'm gonna do this right. Okay. So guys, I'm so glad that I was able to be your leader, and that I kept this group together through thick and thin. And at the end of the day, I love you. Fuck you.
I immediately toss my stone into the ocean.
We all 3 toss our stones into the ocean. Like, this was a waste of time.
You need to get these stones enchanted that if they ever are thrown into a body of like water, they,
They
return
return
to
to
your
the
person.
pocket. Yeah.
They wash up.
well,
Yeah, just so you can have the like catharsis of it.
Yeah.
You got to be able to hang up the phone.
Yeah.
they certainly are, though. For 80 platinum.
Well, I appreciate that, Ace, and thank you, Simon, for doing this. This is good. I hope we can keep in touch as time goes on.
You guys heard that, right? Yeah.
I think yours might not be.
No,
working.
about
I
how
didn't
I'm the
hear-
leader.
Yeah, you cut
I
out.
kept it
I
all.
don't-
Okay.
I don't know.
Is that what he said?
I don't know.
Well, he's,
I don't think these works.
I put a volume knob on his, a mute button.
His is a rock. This is just a rock.
his can only receive messages.
Yeah.
It's got a
Find him
finite
homeless
distance.
in
It's
some city yelling into a rock. How come no one's responding?
Wow. Nice. That was touching.
But yeah, I want to spend the last moments kind of before we kind of, timeline wise, I don't know how it works.
Within the next few months, you have this.
I want to have a moment on the beach with the gang.
for sure.
I mean,
Just like the old days.
if I do call you guys in like a week or so and tell you that I'm like in a prison, you should come and save me.
Of course.
Yeah.
I think there's a bail fund set aside.
Yeah.
I think there's a
Part of the
a
endowment.
specific
Yeah.
trust.
Yeah.
Account
How,
for that.
what was my mom's name again? That's the name of the endowment that I set up. That's it's my mom's name.
I forget what your
know.
mom's name is.
That's
It's good. 'Cause
terrible.
it's like
I forgot my
there's a
mom's
long
name
name and a
too.
short name too.
You need an easy one like Marilyn.
Because you're
Come on, y'all.
Yeah, or Helena.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's in my notes. I just didn't bring my laptop down.
Your mom's name in your notes, and you don't.
She had a long name that was kind of like a riff on a standard name.
It is, yeah.
Not Quellinia? No, it's not
No.
that.
Oh, that's a previous campaign. Ben's mother, Ignatius.
Ignatius.
Oh,
that's right.
yeah.
So yeah,
Duroc.
this is the Ignatius, endowment
Yeah.
for Quiltonian culture or something like that.
Very nice.
Covers our court fees and any trouble that we might get into.
Not ours specifically.
Yeah,
Aces.
it's
Sorry,
specifically
yeah,
just
aces.
your
Yeah.
4 names are not on there,
Yeah.
or are on there to be like, don't give them the money.
Yeah.
They'll figure it out. But Simon, over the next few months, do you continue to work with the foresters,
Absolutely.
making sure to keep those connections?
And I would add that I feel like, if possible, these fiendish worms that were in the population, if there's a way to kind of repurpose them for a positive use, like for some sort of healing or some sort of
You can definitely find
I feel like that might be a
researchers
side,
like alchemists
yeah.
and the druids of the foresters to try and research, but I either provide countermeasures, know more about them,
right.
But absolutely in the next months you can take up that
That's kind of
mantle
like a side
dealing
thing, yeah.
with those people.
train
And
them to mind control other cities.
I was gonna
I
say,
was like,
we
yeah.
come back. We come back in a few years, and Simon
Simon.
is the new Alistair.
Yeah, I was
He's
trying
just
to.
wide-eyed hovering above the bay.
He's
Hey
like,
guys,
Welcome
all the
home.
townspeople
I'm the herald
echo
of the
his
storm.
voice.
Look, the storm was good all along.
We should all be a storm.
Join me.
won't you?
But yeah, no, you can definitely take that on as a project. You're able to get the worms out of these folks. You set up somebody either in town or the foresters to research on them.
Sweet.
Yeah, easy enough.
And I want to bolster my parents' butcher shop. I want to make sure I'm still a part of that in some way, like maybe a hunt every now and then, just to stay connected to that and them.
Because your mom's still hunting as well, and
Yeah.
makes the trek from Quilton to the Enclave and back, and
Yeah.
you'll go on that journey with her, either staying at the with the foresters for a bit and then coming back to Quilton.
Yeah. Good.
And they're always trying to make sure that everyone's fed as well, and they're able to get their products out there. So
Excellent.
with all the help that everyone's been receiving, they are not taking a break, but are able to work a lot easier now.
Right. I like this little city of mutual aid that we've created.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of nice.
It's what it used to be.
It's like we're creating our ideal society or something.
Yeah.
Now, where do we put the death camp? Just kidding.
I mean, we just
Yeah, where do
ship them off to El
Yeah, where do we
Salvador.
ship the illegals?
That's in the plane of torment.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Take them back to the prison of pain.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we do have that place.
Yeah.
Yeah, it still has all the prison cells
Yeah, they're all still there.
and a big bird.
Did you,
Well, no.
Val?
No,
did-
that's-
No, he's been defunded.
Yeah, you put the bird. Ugh.
no. No.
That hurt. Paladins.
Paladin Bros?
Paladins.
I don't
the next few
know.
months.
I am
You do have that book, I believe, that
Alistair's
The
book.
Alistair's
Necronomicon?
book.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't
I'm,
open
I'm
it.
really curious what you do with that.
The Costa
It's got a lock or something on it, doesn't it?
Yeah, I got the book for sure. I took it off his body as he was
Mhm.
sinking.
Yeah.
But I know that if I open it, then I'll be taken over with these ideas.
And then Caleb will run a Call of Cthulhu campaign off of the.
So what I do is I don't know, what should I do with it? What do you guys
Where
want me to do?
where
Whatever
do
you
you
think is
find
exciting.
comfort and routine? Where are you spending most of your days, and are there any special things that you do? Like, do you end up having to travel anywhere for anything specific?
So while I'm waiting to for Ace to go on his adventure, I find myself personally drawn to the things that Ben was drawn to between dying and starting this adventure, which was like helping people find rest, like specifically like the ghosts, the undead. If I find undead things,
Gotcha. Yeah.
I help move them on to be at peace and stop haunting things.
Absolutely. Yeah. You can spend the next few months definitely getting into that kind of work.
Yeah.
Being finding where the spirits are disturbed, where the ghosts are not rested, and guiding them towards a restful place.
And I feel like, specifically to Ben is attracting himself to this idea too of like, peaceful helping of these people. Like I still got my sword, I still got all that, and I'm gonna probably have to use it on Nytheris here in a little bit, but in the meantime, I like this idea of like I'm using my high charisma stat to convince people to let me help them to. Or essentially just like a non-violent path in this regard, lighting lots of incense, saying lots of prayers, burying bones places,
Listening to the stories of the ghosts.
listening to their stories. Exactly. You got the idea.
Yeah. No, it's a job that will never be finished, but for sure there is a lot of unrested ghosts and spirits in Quilton Bay, and the overflow of them because of the recent chaos. You're able to tamp down and find peace for them.
Yeah.
Very nice.
I like that.
Val.
My turn?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think now that Val has seen, after the next few weeks and helping kind of I feel like he sees that everyone in Quilton, like there's a plan forward for the town, and everything's kind of situated.
You're starting to see that come together. You're starting to see that path forward.
So he's gonna try and he's gonna set off on his own kind of path, and what he wants to do is he wants to kind of go traveling and try and find other half vampires and other people who are kind of on the outskirts of society, and kind of help them find new paths in life by helping people. And I want to make my own monster squad is what I'm really saying.
Gotcha. So not specifically vampires, but,
I
but
mean,
those who have
for
maybe
sure,
been turned or
yes, I do want to find half vampires because obviously I can relate to those, but also any other people who
werewolf types.
Sure, anyone who's been kind of discarded or
reborn.
Or reborns, like, people who, don't necessarily want to move on, but, like, don't have a purpose. And it's hard for them to find one because it's, like, who they are. It's not very easily accepted.
Them into
and so
limited options.
Kind of like my own kind of, like, school for the gifted for, like Xavier's.
Ooh, maybe some,
thing.
like, were creatures.
That's cool. That's kind of what I want to... That's what...
Gotcha, yeah.
Valen wants to do because, he's not going to change who he is. And while he knows he's accepted here, he knows that he's lucky with this town, but not everyone gets this.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
not everyone gets this, like, to luck out to get such good friends. And so he wants to find other people who don't maybe have that and kind of form a thing.
The Xavier Snibley's school of the...
Yeah.
That's right.
And I think there's funds in the endowment for that.
There we go. Yeah.
So you as Quilton Bay and the port opens and they travel begins again, you're able to, just like Ace is, start going out amongst Haven, the larger Haven, to start trying to track folks down like this, hearing stories. I mean, some of this might start from like hearing stories about these folks that come in and out of the bay and have found themselves traveling around the inner channels. And start. Is it something you want to do here at Quilton, or something is more kind of nomadic where you are?
Nomadic in these first few months for sure, but eventually I think he wants it to settle down into an estate somewhere, maybe in like a bigger city or bigger area. I mean, yeah, something like that.
Nice, fantastic.
Is this Arthur's?
That's what I was just saying.
The mansion that we inhabit later.
Yeah, whatever happened with that? I don't remember.
Somebody takes care of it. I don't remember. That is a while ago now.
Yeah. Arthur and Willem moved on to the magic theater.
The traveling theater.
Yeah, with Adrian.
Yep. How does this all come together?
So much lore.
So
I love it.
Fantastic.
That's what I want to do.
That's really cool.
Love it.
I like
it. Something we haven't touched on is, I think, within during this time period, your mother comes back along with all of the other acolytes.
Right.
Once they hear news that Quilton Bay is safer.
My mother came back?
No, your mother. So sorry.
Your mother will never come back.
Your mother's never coming back. Yeah.
She's dead.
And Valen makes a point to remind Ben of that.
And that tree, it was
day.
chopped down.
Every day.
It was made of stone or petrified wood, which is basically stone.
Diamond axe, dude.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Silver axe, yeah.
But she comes back and starts to, perform services, get the temple running again, at least for the folks that are wanting to worship Melora again. It's a much different looking celebration.
Yeah.
It's a lot of reflection on what happened and how people's different views on the same thing turned into the dark times of Quilton.
A little more like somber reflections than
Yes.
celebratory. Yeah, for sure.
And unless like this is how it is, and more like this is how other people interpret these stories of Melora.
It sounds like it's a study on, as opposed like
Reflection, like taking that example, like they're very much. She's trying to be open about what happened with Alistair and where she failed in letting him, take over, and where she, where other folks were not able to see what she saw
Hoping that history won't.
repeat itself.
Yeah,
for sure.
Not comparing it or anything, but like a Holocaust museum of quilts.
Right.
Sure, yeah. At least being
very
open about
and
what
honest
happened,
about it and
not
letting people
trying
know
to put
this
it
can
under
happen.
the
Yeah.
And we should
makes sense.
avoid it.
During these months, I'm trying to think if there's anything else that pops up. At some point, when you are all gathered at, Ghoul's, Big Craig, approaches and is like,
I'm pregnant.
I'm pregnant, guys. Little skeleton baby.
Got a little boaty boy.
How is that possible? Ace?
Ace has tried many times. I mean,
But he comes up to you guys and is like, I just wanted to talk to you guys. I've been talking to this sword guy for a little bit now. He seems to want to stick around here at Quilton, and you guys seem to, you're going your ways. I think here in Quilton, with the help of this Laval, this sword guy, I think I'm protected from Nytheris. I think he can keep me safe from him. You don't have to babysit me anymore, I think.
Well, that's
really
fantastic to
sweet.
hear.
And the folks here have been real nice. I've been helping rebuild some of the houses and stuff, and we've been talking with folks, and I think I'm gonna just, if it's all right with you guys, just stay here in Quilton Bay and just make sure that Nytheris comes back. I'll take care of him. And if there's any other dangers or anything, if folks need help, I'm happy to help. And Laval, that's kind of all he wants to do is just help the folks here.
big old Hodor character.
Yeah.
You of course you may do what you want. You have your own autonomy. You can. I'm no longer in charge of you. So
All right. Yeah.
Hypothetically, if he stops doing the spell and stuff on you, though,
I think the sword guy can help me with that.
yeah, I think
As long
through
as
the
I'm still
help
here
of
in Quilton.
Laval, he's kind of
Yeah.
retained his own identity.
Through the power of storytelling, we can let that mechanic go.
I mean, it seems there's some functional things happening here because he was the last paladin of Melora here, and there's a lot of magic of him and
That's
his soul in the
convenient,
sword.
yeah.
And
he's like a magical.
maybe if I left this
creature that
place, I'd be in danger.
owned
But
it.
Well, Craig, I'm sorry, Big Craig.
yeah,
Thank you
yeah.
for your service. You've been an incredible help and friend.
Thank
great
you
companion.
all. I mean, you saved me from a unlife of servitude. So,
Right? Yeah.
Certainly
No, yeah,
a part
we're
of our
basi-
party.
thank you. I appreciate it.
You took a lot of damage in that last fight, so
Yeah. So I mean, my bones are sore, but that's okay. It's all right.
Your bones are sore?
My
I'm
bones.
unconscious 3 times.
I'm kind of only bones.
Are you the standard 205 human bones, or are you another number?
I don't think I've counted them all.
I feel like he has more.
He's just the big ones.
Looking at him, it seems like there's more.
Oh, nice.
He's big guy.
What kind of
There's a
what,
reason his name Big Craig.
What was he before he was a skeleton?
I think he's
Probably-
a half giant.
A flesh version of.
Yeah, half giant.
I always imagine him as a giant. Okay, I always imagine him as giant Sans.
You know,
Sans?
From what is that game?
Giants.
see, I was thinking of a game too, but I was thinking of the skeleton Koopas from
Ew,
from
Mario.
Mario?
Yeah,
Sure.
the giant. I think there's big ones.
I was
right?
thinking of a Game of Thrones.
Excellent. Well done.
You really.
I was just thinking of a
the
big
mountain
skeleton.
just as a skeleton.
Yeah.
I was thinking
Yeah,
of the
that's
Home
about
Depot
right.
skeleton, honestly, but whatever.
Scrunched down and just a little whiter.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those Home Depot ones, those are huge.
Yeah.
Not that big.
Oh, those 12-foot ones.
12 footers.
I think they're bigger than that.
Yeah.
Well, maybe.
They
I don't
say
know.
they're 12 foot, but
Yeah.
Anyway.
Does anyone have questions on something maybe I've missed in what's going on in town? I'm trying to
No.
think of anything I've
think-
missed.
I feel like we kind of covered pretty much most of the big talking points.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't know how you guys feel, but like I truly feel as though like my arc wrapped so neatly with my mom at the tree that I'm sitting here thinking at the end, I'm like, Ben
You're up for
had everything.
whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know, and it's
yeah.
like, yeah, I definitely don't think Ben wants to necessarily go on a life of adventure like Duroc and Ren did, but I feel like Nytheris is a loose end that he feels strongly for,
tying up.
specifically because of Coconut Bill as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So yeah, that's the thing I feel with Ace is like he does not know how to hold still.
Yeah.
For sure.
Like
For
he
sure.
needs to be in constant motion.
Yeah. I don't know if Ben does. I think he could be content, aside from the Nytheris thing, he could be content just putting souls to rest and putting people to rest. And live. You could imagine him just like, people telling stories about him. You know, it's like, yeah, there was like some guy, like, he came and just like, yeah, put that old ghost to rest and then moved on.
He's the guy in Home Alone.
I am
Right, yeah.
I'm
Spreading
a
the
little-
salt on the sidewalk.
That's good. I am a little curious about Val and your mom now that she's kind of back in the picture. What kind of relationship do y'all have? Like,
I mean, I think we kind of resolved our the impasses with it, that we had when we were at Nytheris, as we had that discussion at the table, and I think we've,
are
and
you
then
close or are you?
I think we're as close as we're gonna get. I think it's one of those where it's like your mom's still very much into religion and you're very much not, but you guys don't talk about it,
Right.
and you just kind of have like a surface.
Okay.
She's at least accepting that you're not in the same lane as she is.
Right. Yeah.
And I think that's how she was before as kind of the leader of the church.
Yeah.
Like, this is the way to worship Melora. And
Right.
the change that you've seen is that she's okay with other versions of that as long as you're not going the path Alistair did.
No, yeah.
Like,
of course not.
that's the way to do it, is to not be subjugating others or telling others how to do
Sure.
things. That's that change in the way she performs her ceremonies.
Yeah.
There's
So-
names for these things
Yeah.
in churches.
Okay.
Rituals,
Rituals.
rites,
Yeah.
prayers. Yeah. So I think we're good. I think we understand each other, which is why I think he feels fine leaving Quilton Bay to kind of, because like our characters are still like, I mean, at least
Really
mine
young.
is really
Yeah.
young.
Pretty young.
Yeah, yeah.
23, I think Ace is.
Or
Yeah, I
early
think I'm
20s,
in
I
my
think.
early 20s or like 19 or 20.
Yeah.
Was
I think-
Simon the youngest?
I think
Yeah,
Simon's
you
the
were.
only one who's
Yeah.
like 18
Yeah,
or something.
you were like 4 years old.
Yeah. Still.
Yeah. No, you were the youngest though. So yeah, and he feels like he has, a big calling of his own to go out and do, and his mom's calling is definitely, here with Melora still, and we understand that about each other. So Valen feels fine leaving. There's no loose ends here.
Yeah, definitely thinking about like long term with our characters.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that they're so young, like I can imagine them becoming like such different people in the future. I do really like the idea of Ace like unintentionally but intentionally like following in his father's footsteps and eventually becoming like this person who understands like the business, but then like at the same time taking his life experiences and the things he loves about Quilton and kind of putting a socialist spin on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. A rescue for the people.
A rescue for the people.
But we all change our names to the McQuiltons.
There we go.
Yeah. Does he bring his mother home? Is he able to bring his?
After she finishes her
Her term.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
How long
Yeah.
is she in for?
A couple of years. Really,
Really,
so
that's it?
eventually. She didn't
Seems
have a lot
pretty
to
light.
do with the day-to-day operations, and
Yeah.
also
Even though
I guess the punishment is
told
different
them
when you have
about
money.
everything. Yeah, was like, this is what so-and-so did, this
Not
is
in
what so-and-so
Quilton.
did, here's the books I saved. I don't want to be in trouble. How can I not be in trouble?
Yeah.
Who probably cooperated.
no, yeah,
Yeah.
she
Cooperating.
100% would be the type to 100% cooperate, give all the information over, working within the law
Yeah,
as she
because that's
sees it.
that's how
That's
she
her-
viewed things. Was
That's her lens.
we're doing it correctly. We're following the law.
We definitely have many conversations about how
Your
we should
mom-
be in prison.
Yeah.
Your mom's a Blue Line supporter for sure. For sure.
Of course she is.
Yeah.
So I
She
think,
just got out of jail.
Yeah.
She may as well have gotten a pardon.
but I think that's where we'll finish up for at least.
Yeah.
Not going into years later. We can think about that elsewhere. But from going forward, Quilton Bay starts to lean towards some of the things it used to do, making sure that it's providing food from the seas and from their farms and from their orchards, making sure that food store is stocked up and that the ziggurat is there for bad times and harsh winters. The worship of Melora in Quilton Bay is softened. People aren't as adamant about it. The trade opens up a bit more with the Bay, but not as strong as it was when the Drescues were controlling it. Yeah, some people come in. A lot of it is kind of people interested in the Bay. The lighthouse is the one on the cliff. The lighthouse is an interesting place for other followers of Melora to visit. Ghoul is this de facto leader that people come to. You realize that there's a reason she wasn't doing that much beforehand, because she is overwhelmed with this and wanted to just retire and own a bar, and now she's in the middle of things.
She's the one.
Yeah. Ever so often, Rav comes down and meets with her. They enjoy some time together, going over old times. Yeah. Some big things happening just going forward. During the calming, Melora comes back. She visits with the people. She travels Haven. She is not able to do that during this calming. And it's known by some of the more devout followers of Melora that when she's finished with her travels, which can take a few hundred years, she goes back to her home and the calming ends. That's the cycle. People are unsure of what's going to happen now.
Wow.
Melora is not going about her pilgrimage. She can't be seen. No one knows where she is. These people that would know about her, like the Quilter's Coven, and some other people that show up in Quilton, kind of curious as to why they haven't met with their old friend again.
Is the calming continuing?
The calming has stayed.
Oh.
Did Ben forget to drop his concentration?
Ben did not drop his concentration.
She was banished to her garden.
To her garden.
Safely. To safety.
Yeah.
So...
And that's
it's not
something
your
that
fault.
she accepted. Like when you cast the spell, she didn't roll a save against it.
Right.
Yeah.
She was like,
because she
I'm
knew I
being
could save her.
hurt.
Yeah.
Okay.
She knew it was good for her, so she let it happen.
So this isn't your fault.
The other odd thing that happens is that when she was attacked initially and some part of her fell into the bay, that part of her found not a host, but a home in something else.
Alistair's body.
Alistair's body, maybe. But some part of Melora is in Haven, but not the god herself.
Or in Quilton Bay or in Haven?
In Haven.
Oh.
Wait a minute.
Nope. You're gonna find out later.
So
That's
Quilton Bay and the boys of Quilton Bay have changed the calming in some way going forward.
wow.
I just need to know, does Nightcrawler spread?
I don't think so.
Yeah, sorry. That's a really
Yeah, I don't think
that's
so.
a really
creepy.
quaint hometown tradition, bro.
for
Wink,
Quilton Bay.
Weird.
We
sexual
are known for
connotations of it.
Nightcrawler, but it
But
does not
I'd like
the
to
truth is
contain.
this. The truth is this, Milo, is that like, you're trying to spread Nightcrawlers and they think it's like this disgusting, weird, perverted hometown cultural thing. But they have their own version that they're like,
just
what?
as
It's nothing
weird.
like Nightcrawlers, but it's the same fucking thing.
Turn
and
the
it's
mirror.
Same exactly.
Yeah.
It's just as weird. But they're like, it's not fucking weird. That's yours is called Nightcrawlers.
Nightcrawler.
Every time I try to convince a half vampire to come with me and join my little thing, they always go, aren't you from that town that does night crawlers? And I always go, fuck!
I still feel like that's the best thing we ever created.
Yeah. But yeah, from there, that's your guys' journeys.
Wow.
You have more story to tell. But for our campaign, this is where we will end it.
Nice.
This has
Wow.
been such a fun campaign from start to finish. What a town we created. Started there,
Chock full
came
of-
back
yeah.
to it, traveled the oceans, and found all kinds of weird, fun things out there.
Wow.
It has been just so much fun.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Good work, team.
Thank you.
We fucking won. Wait, Alex. Did we win?
You guys won?
Yes! Eat my ass, Jeremy Crawford. I don't know.
Of all the people.
I couldn't think of anybody. And he's gone from
Yeah,
Wizards.
he's leaving too. It's
Yeah,
nothing to
fuck
do with
you.
it.
Your fucking game couldn't stop
All
us.
right.
We beat D&T.
And also, thank you everyone for listening. This has been
Of course.
what a treat to do. Grab your swords, keep on adventuring. I think I say that at a different time.
You say I've been
No.
Alex. the
I've been
DM.
Alex.
Yes.
With me has been.
Dash signing off as Valen for the last time.
Caleb S. Simon Monroe.
Milo, formerly as Ace Whittington McQuilton Dreskew.
A lot of it.
And Red has been.
Grab your swords, keep on adventuring.
Well done. So what? Now do we do the crit
We
files?
should do a crit fires just to wrap it up and talk
Crit
about
fires.
crit fires. See what we want to do next.
Welcome, everybody, to this week's episode of the Crypt Files, your once weekly follow-up podcast to the hit foreplay Dungeons & Dragons podcast. It's called The Inn at the End. Well, this one's called Crypt Files. But we're fresh off the boat, beating our long-running campaign, started all the way back in October. Rather, the first episode aired in October of 2022.
Wild.
Jesus.
I was wondering, yeah.
We went and did... We
It's
went
been
and
3
did...
years.
Wow.
2.5 years. It's been 2.5 years.
Oh yeah. 2.5 years.
And those episodes, that was the quiet year episode. So it's not like
Oh,
exact.
okay.
Very beginning.
So, and then a few weeks later, we started doing
Gotcha.
our regular stuff.
Wow.
So, yeah.
That's a long time of us just sitting in a fucking basement
And remember those.
talking about our
Yeah.
nerdy ass characters.
And those were the first episodes because we did a whole season before where we all did a one-shot
Oh,
campaign.
yeah,
right,
that's
right.
And that was all remote. So we've
Oh,
done
no,
2.5
those COVID
years
times.
of in-person Dungeons and Dragons.
Give it up.
Approximately,
Yeah.
yeah,
That's a feat.
approximately every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Approximately,
That's
Yeah.
impressive.
On average, yeah.
we
yeah.
have
That's hard to do.
we have 120, more than 120 episodes of this season. I think counting. No, maybe not even counting the quiet year. So it might be even like 130
We're
total.
definitely
did
an
130
anomaly.
I just did. So today's Crit Files was episodes 132 and 133.
There you go.
Wow.
Yeah,
So
we're
and
Definitely
we've
an
got
anomaly of a D&D group.
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, but not of a podcast D&D group. And so that's
See?
what I say is if
Yeah.
you want to have a consistent session, do a podcast.
Yeah.
I think
It keeps
so.
you in it.
Yeah.
And I think that's the beauty of it is that like one of the best things to happen to me mentally was just like letting go of the podcast as like a product and
Right.
embracing it as like
Tool to
yeah,
get
a
together.
tool.
I agree. Like part of me is, who listens to this? I'm interested in that.
Hey, Craig.
I want to know.
Craig.
Yeah. But really,
Milo's
it's,
mom.
it's
And my-
just
yeah, my
a
mom.
vehicle to
My
facilitate
brother.
a
Your
commitment.
brother. Okay.
I feel like.
I think
Yeah.
so, and
Yes.
that's been where it's like found. I think it's, I mean, what's crazy is that like we play so often, and we're incredibly flexible. It's not like we have this schedule, and we come through when we're short
Mm-hmm.
on episodes. We haven't missed a week yet. In this
Which
new
is
iteration
crazy.
of since we've become the Inn at the End, we haven't missed a week.
Yeah.
And I think part of that is just like, this laid back attitude. It's like, okay, well, we've got this commitment to each other, to the game, to this thing, and
To the craft.
we all have a life outside of it. But when it comes down to it, we gotta make sure we're getting our storyline moving too. So
and it's therapeutic,
it is really,
It
good.
really,
especially in this
it's
day and
very
age.
I
Like,
need this sometimes.
Yeah, I
Like
do
today,
too.
Mm-hmm.
oh my god, this week has been the worst. But like knowing that I have like this chance to
Yeah.
come and be a whole different character and pretend like Alex is my weird MAGA mom.
Yeah.
Wait,
it becomes like it's very cathartic.
yeah.
Yeah, for sure. It's been a fun escape, and I mean, I also look forward to just hanging out with you guys too, and just like shooting the shit before, which is
Same.
fun.
Yeah.
And
same.
then I mean, and then playing is fun, and I look forward to whatever we do next. I mean, we've bounced around different ideas, but I know it's going to be super fun. Whatever we do.
What
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
the plan? Like Dragonheart or what?
Daggerheart is a
Daggerheart?
system that I'm interested in playing.
Are we still
I've got
playing
some
Haven?
ideas for
100%
a
Haven.
next campaign in Haven.
Never want to play anywhere but Haven.
I do. I
I want to play it.
Like, why would you
Yeah.
when it's that fleshed out?
Yeah.
Like,
Because I mean, we've like learned so much about the world. Like
Yeah.
we can keep that consistent, which is nice and fun. And I've got like all these maps and my wiki for it, and
Yeah.
it's this big source that's ours. Like it's our thing that we're making, which is
Yeah.
nice.
Something that like going back to talking about like our group and stuff. When I tell people, "Hey, yeah, we just finished a campaign," and like there was no question whether or not we were going to get back together for another
Right.
campaign.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
we were all like, "Okay, what's the next
That
plan?"
didn't. I hadn't thought of that till you just said, "Hey, we just finished our campaign," and I automatically have the feeling like, "Okay, so what's the next?"
What's the
Right.
next?
We're
Yeah.
obviously
Like,
going to play.
There
it
was no
again.
question.
Do you guys-
like all of us were like, obviously.
Do you guys ever get it where you're planning things with other people and they're like, "Well, what about Thursday?" And you're like, "Well, I don't. It's not set in stone." But
I
that's
had
my
to do that
D&D night."
yesterday.
Yeah. Do you guys ever get any like shit about that from people?
No.
I don't
No.
do anything.
I find people are like,
I don't make
really, like
plans.
for a fact that it's every Thursday. I'm like, well, I mean, like almost.
Yeah.
I keep my schedule open.
Yeah.
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 Thursday, like Tuesdays are my in-office day. Thursdays are my recording days. Like,
Yeah.
that's my D&D
Yeah.
day.
Oh, I literally told my boss, like, I'm free anytime, any place, except for Thursday nights. Like, I
Yeah.
have something going on Thursday nights, and it's D&D, and my boss is like, that is amazing. I will not screw with that.
Yeah.
I will say I schedule my own work, so I've got a lot more flexibility with that. For today, I was like, I can't go out to do this job. Hey, I told him, I was like, hey, can I come out Saturday instead? I've overbooked myself. Can I come out on Saturday? And so I'm going to take my Saturday so I don't have to work on this. So I
I
can
applaud
prepare
your
for
commitment, friend.
the session.
That's the
Oh.
benefit of being a player. Is it like there's not that
Right.
like mental overhead where it's like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Planning.
Yeah.
I literally thought about the stuff I was doing, like, in the car on my drive to work.
I didn't really think about it too much until like I was just reveling in like winning. Like we had won, we beat an Alistair, and I was like, yeah, I guess whatever happens happens.
I had thought about what Valen was going to do after like a long time ago. I'd had that set in my mind for
Yeah.
a while, so I kind of knew what that was going to look like.
That's an interesting question that makes me wonder, like, compared to the other campaigns that we kind of have wrapped up before, how does this one compare?
I feel like there is more. There's more invested in these characters because we started as kids in the Quiet Year.
100%.
Yeah.
I feel like they deserve like what's happening next in their lives.
They're fully fleshed out.
Yeah. Whereas if we had started at level 3,
Yeah.
Already developed, just jump into the campaign, like it would end where the campaign ended, and I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I might give some more thought into it. But
Yeah.
I feel like there's more of a responsibility when we started off as children, as
Right.
friends.
Yeah. Now that we've done it that way, I can't imagine
I don't want to
playing
do it.
Yeah.
again without having that
Some sort
that
of
feeling
development.
of
Something
connection.
there.
Yeah.
Something there to
Connection.
build from.
Some sort of
together.
origin like
Yeah.
playthrough.
Yeah.
That a jumping off point.
Yeah.
Yeah, just
And it doesn't
jumping
have to
in.
be as kids, but like something that congeals us together and gets us kind of
Yeah.
invested in these characters.
even if it was just
Yeah.
the place we're from or
Yeah.
whatever.
Mhm.
it
It's
was.
really hard to explain to people like how the Quiet Year did that for us. I try to tell them and they're like, well, that's a cool idea. Like, so you have a map and you have stuff. I'm like, no. It's
You
like
don't get
so
it.
much more
Yeah.
than that.
Yeah, you
Like,
you
we
build the entire.
created the town.
Like, it's like, I guess
Nightcrawlers.
I guess I'm like, you think about it, and it's like you have all these guided prompts, and you brainstorm the lore together, and it's not just a map, and it's not just, and even the lore is such a soft way of
It's
putting
the fact,
it.
the
it's the fact that
legends-
we all know it.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
It's
it's the
something
legends
we-
that these
yeah.
kids have heard growing
grown
up.
up with,
Like,
yeah.
Yeah,
and
and if you guys haven't done it yet, like, go back and listen to the Quiet Year episodes because, like, it was really fascinating to me to go back and hear, like, the things that we came up with and how excited we were about some of them to see what they would become. And like, we really didn't forget about too much. Like, all of the big things were there. I mean, for guys like the ziggurat came into play, and like all of these other things came into play. And
the followers of the traveling lights
were
the painted ladies.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
So I would, and then just like to think like this, like these two characters that randomly came into town. One of them became like our staunch ally behind the walls of Quilt when we were coming back, and the other one became the big bad evil guy.
That's
like,
incredible.
And I don't know. It's just a really fun, interesting way of, especially when we've reached the end, to go back and like, hear where we were.
Did we level up?
Hell yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Sweet. So okay, cool. All right. Yeah. No, it was that was so fun. It's also weird that you're like, oh yeah, the character's done now.
Well, so that's
Right,
one of the
right.
questions that I had asked at the beginning is like, what did I say? I said, does anyone
Check
feel
the whiteboard.
Does anyone feel so attached to their characters that they want to continue playing them in the next season, like Alex had suggested?
Well, I said it kind of at the beginning, but I'm done playing that character.
Yeah.
That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
Why do you?
And now now it's in Alex's hand. I like the idea of, I built this character, I made this character, I set it on a journey. Here.
Yeah.
I do feel like
integrate
it's
it
in
into the
your
world
world.
of Haven.
Now it's
Build
yours.
from.
I feel like I want to check in on Simon from time to time, just out of like care.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I feel like there's a relationship there, but
well, that was like
I
fun.
agree with Dash. Like, it's now a part of the universe. It's part of the world, but at the same time, I'm like, so what's Simon up to?
That was a really
Right.
fun thing for me. Like when we did the traveling bard one-off, was like I got to see Arthur.
Yeah,
And
that
I was like,
cool.
oh, that was really neat.
Oh,
too.
yeah.
That's just in general the fun thing about playing in Haven.
Yeah.
Is
Right.
that we run into like certain characters or certain themes
It's a small world.
that do run through the entire world, and we know about them.
So you want to
Like-
check in on Simon, but do you want to play Simon still?
I would.
Do you
if-
want to take
but
him into the high level thing and like keep going in the next
I
season?
would. I would do that, but if that's not where we go,
But that's not
I'm
what the
okay with
question
that.
is.
Yeah.
The question is, if we start a new adventuring party, do you want Simon to come in and be like Simon 2.0? Is he going to be a multi-class druid now?
I think that would be fun.
Yeah.
I do think that would be fun. But at the same time, like a lot of people's favorite thing about D&D is creating characters, like
Right.
doing and
The allure of a new character
yeah,
is huge.
and I have that
Yeah.
itch, but at the same time, I really like Simon.
Yeah.
Wasn't always the best at anything, but
not
it
true.
was a lot of fun.
You killed the boss.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you got the final
Yeah,
shots.
you
like
are the
that.
hero,
Guys,
of
I don't
Quill
need to
and
be
Bay.
talked down from a ledge.
You got us into the
like-
trouble, and you sure as fuck got us out.
I started this fight.
That was the best thing. Is he's the first person to bloody somebody,
That's
and he's
true.
the first person
you
to
started
end
it and you finished
Simon
Wow.
is the bookend. Yeah.
He's the real hero of Quilton
Yeah.
Bay.
and villain. Yep.
I feel like we have reached the end of where these characters were going from when we started them, and I am totally okay with letting them exist in the world. Like, I have other characters that exist in Haven, and that feeling is really, really good.
Yeah.
And knowing that, like, no matter, even without my like input, like Alex knows who those characters are and what they would do
Yeah.
in certain situations that happen because his world is constantly evolving and changing.
Yeah.
And I think that's just really cool that I can give up my
What-
and I'm totally okay with it.
Yeah.
What if we started doing like an X-Force and like an X-Men and like,
Yeah, yeah.
So we pull
The
in
spin-off
different
comics.
characters from each of these different.
Well,
Not
that's
a bad
true.
idea.
What if
Like we got
Ball
we got
collaborated
Cinder and like Val and Arthur and
Ball.
you know
I
Ball.
want to bring back Ball.
like all these
Ball
weird
was- I really liked
all these
Ball.
weird
Ball.
super groups.
I think Ball has so much more potential.
But that's you know why? Because the campaign ended early.
It was.
And I feel the same way, and like I'm really satisfied with the place that Arthur ended up, but like all of our stories were kind of incomplete in that way.
Ended early.
And but what's interesting for me is like we have this idea about going and getting Nytheris,
Mm-hmm.
and you were like, yeah, maybe we could play that. And I'm like, I really love the idea of Ben going with Ace. I think it's thematically appropriate as all of these things. But I'm with Dash. I'm done playing Ben, I think.
Yeah.
Can we play that out though? At least that, because that would be a blast.
I feel like
that's
something that
maybe
we
I'll
should
be another
play.
character.
Yeah,
in that
yeah.
party.
Maybe, yeah.
I will
and I would
definitely play
imagine
Ace again.
like Simon's he's found his little bit of adventure, but with some stability.
Yeah.
With his situation there, and I would totally be down to have a different character and do this
Yeah.
Nytheris thing.
yeah.
Like that would be a lot of fun.
With
I
that
feel
question, like I would Ace's character is not done. Like Ace still definitely exists in my head and in this world, and like there are so many things that I feel like he could get into, and I'm totally down to play him more.
some more chaos to cause.
He definitely is, and I feel like that's a necessary thing in a group. I feel like it's important to have that chaotic character that kind of like furthers the story.
Yeah.
Like Ace was a very good character for that. Because
I
he
did
would
appreciate
jump in
just
there.
like being able to be like, well, whatever Ace is gonna do, I guess is what's gonna drive this. Because I do get a little bit overwhelmed of like pushing the buttons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like
A decision
engaging.
paralysis.
We're not playing Baldur's Gate.
Right. And that's the problem, right? Because it's like, at least in Baldur's Gate, you know which buttons you can push. And if you ever get stuck, you can hold the Alt button and you can see the highlighted things. And like, there's all these little things you can do. But in Dungeons & Dragons, like, I don't mind engaging a little bit. I love role-playing. I love doing all that and seeing how my character can be influenced by the world and influence the world. But then, like, there comes a point where I'm like, I'm out of ideas and I don't want to think about it anymore. And so Ace would come in and be like, well, I'm just going to fight my way through. I'm like, thank God Ace is here.
I mean, sometimes you just gotta get angry.
And that's why, when it's funny, I think it's really summed up in this idea of like, you want to go after Nytheris and I'm like, well, I mean, yeah, Ben does too.
That seems like a thing to do.
And Caleb does.
I am curious to get Alex's thoughts, like what's been ruminating about your head about what's next. Do you have ideas?
I've got an
Are
idea.
there anything you would like to share with us since we are in Crit Files?
Let's hear it.
Let me give you the outline and kind of reasoning for my idea for a next campaign.
Okay. Like a plot hook.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So the build, like the Quiet Year, super great. But if we wanted to go towards something of more like having a campaign set in a city, and we stay there,
Yeah.
have it be a big city
Daddy likes.
that's very like has all these districts. It's very interesting. We do that ex novo game. We build that city so we have that collected knowledge.
Yeah.
We then are high level characters.
Yes.
That are in this city.
He's gonna orgasm.
This is everything I wanted in the next season.
And the narrative device that I'm thinking of is like all your characters would be people in the city that have some sort of history, that have connections in the city that you can then like I want to like have a nice list of like, like you would decide on like certain districts how they would work, like what kind of law exists in this district. What's a cultural faux pas here? So you would all have this like knowledge as well for
I already have mine figured out.
areas of the city, and you're all somehow connected. But the thing that connects you from the beginning of the campaign is you all have lost a number of years of memory. Like the past like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years are gone from all of you collectively. You don't know what happened to them. And so the adventure is trying to find out what happened and find out what has changed in the city. So like if you're a character who was part of like a fighters guild and were a prominent member there because you're high level, and you go back to the fighters guild and find out maybe something has changed, and then find out why that's changed, and then that leads you to some discovery of maybe what happened. So it focuses the adventure on the city, on what happened to you, but then the exploration of the city becomes the exploration of what happened. And it ties that all together as that's the narrative device I'm thinking of.
I created.
I love
pieces
it.
Do
of
we have a
fun.
can to crack? Can we like start the adventure?
Yeah, let's do it.
No, not yet.
We got to think about characters. We got to think about
Yeah.
what
I'm
our
ready.
world
I
is
already
gonna
got
be.
some ideas.
What's
going
there
on
to
for
think
the
about? I
character.
already told you guys what I was playing.
What are you playing?
I want to play a wizard.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Swear to God.
Are you going to be a wizard too?
You son of a bitch. I swear to God. I swear we are the same human person.
Well, I had a good laugh when we were closing up this campaign. You're like, your mom comes back, and I was like, it's funny that we both don't have dads. Like all of these things.
We're both paladins.
We're both paladins. Yeah.
Oh,
like-
wait. On that note, I want to reveal something that I've kept. Okay.
Oh, let's hear it.
About Val.
Oh, yeah.
Your character is divine in some essence, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I
Immaculate
was
conception.
a Asimar.
Asimar. So you've got your mom. You know your mom
Yeah.
Hot.
biologically. That's the woman who gave birth to you.
Excellent.
But who is the other part of that equation? What is the
I
divine
never
source?
asked this.
Torag.
Nope.
Melora.
So
Alistair.
no. There you could guess it.
Oh, no.
Laval.
Oh, that's
the-
cool.
It's
The paladin?
Paladin. Oh
Yeah.
my god.
Oh.
Because that suit of armor and like sword
Oh.
are in the keep. It's this very divine
They're like your
energy of
birthright.
Melora. Like
Oh, that's
That was
cool.
my dad?
that sword is your dad.
But you're like sexy magic dad.
Whoa.
It's
Yeah.
fitting that it's a sword.
I was putting that character
penetrate.
together, and I'm like, oh, everything lines up. That's where like that influence would come from, like that divine influence.
Alex's wall is covered in red yarn.
Yeah. He's
figured it
Charlie
out.
Day in that
Yeah.
meme.
Yeah. So yeah, that was
Wow,
my
that's
little
cool. I really like that.
That's
Secret.
awesome.
sword
Yeah.
dad.
Sword dad.
I have parents, but I was abducted from them, so
Right.
Well, I
Ooh,
can't
that
be
should
a
be your
wizard
next character.
campaign.
you can be.
I'm not going to be a wizard.
But I think
I'm going to do everything in my power for us to not be the same fucking character.
If
I
you
think
really want to be a
you're
wizard,
not
you
gonna
can be. But
You're not going to be solid on any character choice until we play
Yeah.
like the
Yeah,
city building
for
kind of
sure.
game.
For sure. Yeah.
and then
yeah.
like he's like, oh, there's this
That
district.
totally
He's like, this
influenced
is what I want
like-
to be part of that.
Yeah.
yeah,
that's true.
I'm down.
Let's
So
do
yeah,
it.
what do we? I mean, is that a good idea?
Yeah,
bad
yeah,
idea?
yeah.
No, that sounds fantastic.
I think it's great.
I love having the option to. No, I love being in a big city.
And then, but then,
because
And
we don't
high-
play that very
high
often.
Yeah.
level.
but then, does that mean like are we looking at Daggerheart for that swapperoo or no?
I like that, but we haven't played it, so it feels like a gamble.
Perhaps we
Regardless,
should, like,
we live
try
in
it
Haven.
out.
We should
and
try
I
it
think
out.
that's
We should
all
try
that
some
matters.
low-level sessions out to see if we
Are we
like it.
taking
Or
a break?
perhaps
Are we taking a couple week break?
Well, I'm leaving the country, so yeah.
Because it might be a good window to, if we can time that right, to then also maybe do a test play.
We could.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
was thinking like we could do a test play. It could be a part of the podcast. I mean, we're between seasons,
Right.
Between
Mhm.
whatever.
Right. But I just mean like in terms of excuses for the podcast.
Yeah.
Do we want to have? I think it was good that we had that break when we did, where we all kind of like did like our own little one shots and stuff.
Yeah.
Do we want to do that again?
Now that was a year-long
Just
break.
It was a year-long thing. It did take a long time.
I don't
That's
necessarily
true,
want to
because
take a year to
each
get into the
one
next
ended up
thing.
taking like we planned. Oh, we'll
Yeah.
just do like a session or two.
Yeah.
It was like literally like
I
each
think
of
mine
our
was,
things
like,
took,
six.
Each
two
of
or
them
three
had
months.
7 to 8 episodes.
I was
yeah.
blazing through them because I did like 4 one-shots in one.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't mind detouring, especially if we want to test something like that. I think at the very least,
I think it's a good idea to run it and see if we like it.
what I think would be kind of neat. I was thinking this earlier, and maybe it's just a conversation we had off the air. But it's like if we do keep playing D&D or something like that, maybe we could figure out a way to like kit bash some extra rules or something into the game where it's
Sure,
not
sure.
just roll dice, add number or something. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
No.
I love Dungeons and
Explain.
Dragons. Like, figure out a way to kit bash some extra rules into the game to where we can get some of the added flavor or style or
I think
tone that we want.
Definitely
Yeah.
being
And I'm-
in this city, like having a different like style of play would be really useful.
When are you back, and when can we start doing like?
I'll be back after Memorial Day.
Assuming they let you back in.
I'll be back after Memorial Day, but then I'm going to Wallowa Lake, so I don't
Ooh,
know.
that
So
sounds
like
fun.
theoretically, like
Can I come?
But late May, I'll be free, and then like after that first weekend in June, I'll be free again.
We can take the tram up to the top of the mountain.
Mount
Is there a tram
Howard,
up there?
baby. Yeah,
it
Mount
goes
Howard.
all the way up there.
There's
and it's
probably
got a
still snow up
great
there
view.
in the middle of summer.
Oh, okay.
It's
Got
gonna
it.
be so cool.
All right. Well, next month I've got a show on a Thursday.
Is this you plugging in our podcast?
Yeah, he's like,
No.
go visit
it's
dashthompsoncomedy.com.
No, just-
Let me
Gee.
see my dates
Gosh,
here.
Let me get you guys those dates real quick. Coming to a city near you.
Dash is
If you're only in the Oregon area. No, just June 5th is about the only Thursday I can't do.
That's
but-
fine. I'll be gone.
That's good, yeah.
Okay,
And
cool.
I mean, we do have this really easy thing. If we wanted to continue to put podcasts out, where we can
Just
go
bullshit.
after Northaris.
Oh, that's true.
There's for sure. Yeah.
And I will say this: I'm open. Like, I would love to maybe we could test out Daggerheart
On
in
Northaris?
one. Yeah, or on
That would be
Northaris.
interesting.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
If you want
I'd
to
like
think
to do
about
that.
that,
Yeah.
and then, but I don't want to play Ben, so we can shoot.
No
You've
for
made
it.
that abundantly clear.
I will play Ace.
that you hate Ben.
No, I love Ben. I just think that he's done. My
I mean,
character
he's a
arc.
ghost detective now.
Exactly.
He's Nick Valentine
He's
in
the
Wilton Bay.
Whoa, whoa,
no,
whoa, whoa.
he's Jennifer
Nick
Love
Valentine.
Hewitt.
Is Mucky somehow related to this?
Bucky.
Bucky Muckbuckle?
I don't know. That's a different world.
Is it?
All right. Well,
I mean, there's tie-ins.
Anyway.
He's not thrilled.
I think we've got some good ideas
I
on
think
the
we
table.
got great ideas.
Yeah.
Everybody, grab your blankets and
Keep on
Play
night crawling.
Night
Crawl in the night.
night crawl it up.
Jake Gyllenhaal it up.
I love that,
movie. No, no, no,
It's
no, no.
so
That
good.
movie.
Is that the one
Yeah,
with the
that is a
spider
really
at
good
the
movie.
end?
No, that's
I don't
Enemies,
know.
and that
Okay.
movie is even good too. That
That
movie's
was-
awesome.
Yeah, that's the one where he
That's-
like take
that's,
pictures
uh,
of
what's
like
his name?
crash
That's the guy who
scenes
did
and
Dune.
stuff. Yeah.
That was bonkers.
That's
man.
what's his name?
Nightcrawler
Denis
was really good.
Denis Villeneuve.
Villeneuve.
No,
Watch
yeah,
that
yeah.
tonight, actually.
Yeah, he did Enemies. That movie rocks ass.
anyway,
I can't
let's
believe Caleb
close
hates
it
that
out.
movie. He's
Yeah.
a piece of shit. All right. Hey, guys, we'll be here next time. Grab your sword. Keep on adventuring.
Thanks for dropping by, friend. In the meantime, you can also leave our bartenders and troopers a tip over at patreon.com/in@the-end. We hope to see you here next week. Until then, grab your sword and keep on adventuring.